everybody's doing good. So I'm gonna try to shoot this video. We'll see how it goes. My son is kind of in and out of the house riding his bike. So yeah, anyway, I wanted to do this video. This is kitting up of my my entry for the diamond painting event that Bella Art Nicole is putting on for her birthday, Butterflies with Diamonds. So I'll show you the picture I chose and we will get it kitted up. It's a 40 by 40 from Disney. I'm hoping that it's a cute one. Sorry. All right, I'll show you the picture here and then we can get going on this one. Let's dump these out. I haven't done one from this paint in a while, and I'm a little bit concerned about this one, I'll be totally honest, because of the amount of black in it, because I find that with most of the paintings I do, the more black in them, just spilt my pop, the more black that's in them, the more popping drills I end up with. So I'm not sure how I'm going to attack this yet. I'll have to make a decision. But anyway, so here is my picture. And of course, it had to have a butterfly in it. See that? I'm going to put it the other way here because I'm not sure which way I'm going to upload the video. So anyway, that is it there. Those pink butterflies. I'm not sure which way I'm going to attack this one yet. So we'll see. Anyway, let me see. So this one here has 41 colors in it still, and I believe the majority of them are black. So we'll check our inventory as we go and we'll start kitting this up. So I was talking to my son and he said to me, Mom, are you gonna do another video? And I'm like, you know, I want to and I need to, but I don't know what to talk about. So like, I don't know, I think if you're gonna take the time to sit and watch my video, I should talk about something interesting. So I don't know, I'm kind of out of ideas, so we'll see. Let me see. So I feel like I'm always talking about COVID, or you know, but I do want to talk a little bit about how I've been feeling since I've had COVID. I was asymptomatic. I had a couple days where I felt a little bit fatigued, but for the most part I was okay. So we're gonna start with these. They come in half to use one of my bigger containers, or maybe a couple for these. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of the big bags. And I think there was a couple of the smaller ones, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll start with those. Anyway, so yeah, like I recovered, I felt completely fine after I recovered. About 4 or 5 days after, so 310, I've got 13 of the big bags. Here it is. So yeah, that would be right. Okay, 65. Anyway, I felt really good for about, I don't know, like 4 or 5 days after, and then afterwards I started to get symptoms similar to what I had a few years ago. So back when my son was a baby, I got mono really bad. So that was kind of a crazy experience. I was, you know, 25, 26, and was at a hotel with a bunch of other like foster parents, as a foster parent at the time, for a conference, and I felt terrible. I felt like I didn't feel sick. I felt like I was going to die. I can't even explain to you how I felt. I had this huge lump in my neck, and my body felt like I had been run over by a tractor. I can't put it into words how I felt. I literally felt like I was dying. After I got back from the conference, I developed a really sore throat. I went to the doctor and they misdiagnosed me with tonsillitis. So he said, you know, gave me an antibiotic and told me to go home and rest, and it got worse and worse. So anyway, I went back and he's like, I think you have mono. So I had this crazy sore throat. I had a high fever. And anyway, he's like, I'm gonna run blood work, but I'm really sure that's what you've got. So anyway, he did, and the next night I couldn't eat anything, I couldn't move my neck, I literally felt I was going to die. So my mom actually was like, I'm taking you to the hospital. So she sat with my kids while I went to the emergency and was on morphine and, you know, for this, and yeah, it was confirmed that I did have mono. And that took me probably like a month to recover from. If you've ever had mono, you know what it feels like. But after I had it, the fatigue never went away. And my doctor just kept saying, you know, you had mono really bad. It's going to take a long time to get out of your system. You know, that just be patient. Well, like 6 months went by and I still could not get out of bed. I was napping 3 times a day. I felt like I was in a fog all the time. So I went back to him again and I'm like, something is really not right here. So they did blood work and they ruled out a bunch of stuff. And basically I was diagnosed with what was called post-viral fatigue syndrome. So basically what post-viral fatigue syndrome is when your body has fought a virus, like there's different viruses, but mono at the Epstein-Barr is one of them. That sometimes what happens after you recover from the virus is your body goes kind of into overdrive on an immune response, continuing to try to fight something that's no longer there. So like 10 years ago, this was barely heard of. But I kind of researched it, told my doctor, and he actually agreed with me that yes, this is what I had. So it's similar, like in nature, to like fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue syndrome or chronic, I can't remember, but it's basically an autoimmune disorder. So your body is trying to fight something that doesn't exist. So anyway, at that time, it took me, like the first year was really bad. I wasn't working. I was a foster parent at the time. Had I been working, I don't think I would have been able to. I had hired a nanny to come in so I could nap during the day. I did have an enlarged liver and spleen, so like my body was still recovering. But anyway, so it did slowly get better. I would say it took 3 years before I finally felt normal again, and I didn't have these bouts of extreme fatigue. So anyway, about 4 days after recovering from COVID, this feeling came back. And I tell you guys, that's scary because like I remember how debilitating it was. So basically how it feels for me, and I guess it's different for other people. I do have another friend who's dealing with it. He's a bodybuilder and is struggling to get out of bed to cook meals for himself. And it's had a huge impact on his mental health, and it does. So basically for me, I feel like I could fall asleep sitting up. I literally right now feel like if I closed my eyes, I'd be sleeping. That's an ugly, ugly, ugly feeling to constantly feel like you're about to fall asleep. To me, sometimes I end up feeling sick to my stomach because I feel just dizzy when it happens. Lots of joint pain, headaches, malaise. There's been times where it's just like my whole body aches. And my recovery date was March 23rd, or 21st, and today's April 28th, so it's been a month. I have had a marked improvement in the last month. I'm going to work, I'm functioning, but yeah, like it's intense. It's, for me right now, it's just making sure I get enough sleep, eating well, managing my time, prioritizing. I'm taking lots of vitamins. I'm doing vitamin C, vitamin D, iron, and just trying to rebuild what my body has lost. So yeah, it's kind of interesting how like the COVID long hauler thing, even though this is F. I'm gonna do both containers here and I have a few left. It's interesting how even though I never really became symptomatic, I'm still dealing with this. Now, the question is it from the COVID, or is this a reactivation of the Epstein-Barr virus? I don't know. I don't think we know, and it's kind of a moot point. I'm just dealing with it. But like I said, I'm recovering quicker this time than I did the last time I had it. One of my other coworkers who had COVID, let's see what we can find here. So that was the biggest one, with 65 bags, and all the rest are just small. So the 939, there should be 10. So we have 5 here. I'm tired. Holy crap, guys. She is struggling with memory loss. So she has found that her let me use one of these. 939W. She has found that her short-term memory is gone. Like she said, she forgot to turn the stove off the other day. At work, she's forgetting tasks. The girls at work have been so great with her and are continually reminding her of things, and like everybody's very understanding. But I have to say, to go in and say my memory is shot versus I'm tired, it's I got laughed at where they gave her sympathy. That's hard, because this is not something that is in my control. I'm fatigued. It's not tired, it's fatigue. You don't feel rested. You lay down and you sleep, but your body sleep is just not even restful. And that's an ugly feeling, to constantly be in that twilight phase, I guess, but hopefully it's gonna get better. So I have another friend who's dealing with the long hauler thing, and his issue is he's fatigued and dealing with the body pain, but also for him it's his mental health. And his wife and I were talking, and it's like, is it something more, or is it that he's frustrated that his activity level has suffered so much? It's, who knows, right? Like, really, who knows what's causing all this? But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see down the road the research that comes from this. So anyway, so that's where I'm at. So let's do 826 here. I'm just gonna shoot these out because most of them are just 1 or 2 bags. So this one is our beautiful outside today. The kids are all outside playing. I can hear the neighbor kids outside. My son's kind of at that age. He's a teenager, and he's a good kid. He makes mistakes and does things he shouldn't, but for the most part, he's a good kid. He's gentle, he's polite, he's kind. He's a boy. But anyway, we had a bit of an issue here. Oh, here he is. Hi, Marcus. Hi. I'm filming my video. For the hamburger? Handle grips. Oh, the handle grips for your bike, hey? Cool. Let's see. 3838. I think they're up here on the counter, Marcus. Oh, yeah. This is N. Lots of kids outside tonight? No? With Ty? Yeah. What are you guys gonna do? Walk around. Okay. How far are you gonna go? Just in the area. Okay. If you're gonna go further, you come tell me, okay? Okay. Did you drink your peace tea already? Yeah. What about your pop? No. Okay. Bye. Come back in for a stick of gum and some handlebar grips for his bike, and he is on the move again. Anyway, so the other day, him and one of the neighbor kids were outside in the back alley at we have a big park, and there's 3 crescents that kind of wrap around this park. So the park is kind of the hub of the neighborhood, and there's a lot of houses that back onto it. Our house doesn't back onto the park, but there's an easement between our house and the park, so that we have a lot of people that come and go beside our house in the evenings. Anyway, so he was outside playing with one of the neighbor kids. my son is First Nations. I've adopted him, and you know, he's darker skinned, and you know, it is what it is, I guess. But anyway, so him and the neighbor kid were outside playing, and the neighbor kid, little blonde-haired, blue-eyed boy, picked up a stick. Now, our boys are very well behaved. They come from good homes. They, you know, what do you say? Like, they picked up a stick. They were walking around the neighborhood with a stick, like a large stick. They weren't doing anything with it. They were just holding it. The neighbors saw this First Nations kid with a stick and assumed that he was hurting their animals. And I can tell you, my son would never, ever, ever, what is that? That's a 2. Would never hurt an animal. That's not him. It's not his nature. And I have no concern at all that my son was doing that. I just know he wouldn't. And when I approached him about it, he said, Mom, I wouldn't do that. So the other boy was actually the one holding the stick, but of course my son is the one who had his finger pointed at him because, you know, we won't get into that whole thing, but it is frustrating for us. Anyway, so it's tough now because my son doesn't want to go play at the park because he was falsely accused of something he didn't do. Somebody said they had pictures on a video camera. The only thing that I can see on this video camera is my son standing beside the fence. I don't think he committed a crime by standing beside the fence. There was no stick in his hand. And he said he did not have a stick and he did not swing it at any animals, but that's what he was accused of. So it's frustrating when, because I feel that because of the color of my son's skin, that he does not have the freedoms that the other kids in the neighborhood have. The child that was actually holding the stick, who again didn't swing it at anybody or anything, was not accused of this. So that's frustrating, but anyway. So yeah, I don't know, just go with it, right? 3846. Let's see, that one's down here. Oh, I have 43 colors. Now this one is this funny symbol that these companies like to use, hey? All these weird ones. I don't know what that is. Yeah, so anyway, let's see, what else am I? I've been working a lot. I work in long-term care, and one of the things that I've had to deal with this week is we have had some residents pass away. Both of these residents have had long-term health conditions and have been sick for a while. And, you know, they was what we would consider an expected death. So, the one gentleman who passed was, you know, he was a sweetheart. Anyway, was lucky enough that the family was able to come in and sit with him, and, you know, because of COVID, the restrictions are that not the whole family could be in there at the same time. So he had family alternating. They were actually camped out at his window with lawn chairs. And they had their kids there. The grandkids were present when Grandpa passed away. It was a family affair for them. And, you know, some people, I guess, might be creeped out by that, but that's what this family decided to do. I noticed the other family, however, is there's a lot of fear there. You know, they come in to see their mom. She is still, last I know, was still passing, but they come in to see her, and they come in, they stay for a couple minutes, and then they're leaving. And you know, some of the staff said it's so weird, like, why are they not staying with mom? And 995 is dead. And I said, I think they're afraid. I don't think they want to be there when mom passes. And, you know, like, I remember when my grandpa passed away, my brother said that. I just pray that I'm not there when he goes. And I asked him why not, and he said, I'm afraid of it. And I think a lot of people are afraid of death. I don't know if they're afraid of death, if they're afraid of the moment of a passing, the process, you know, because, like, especially in long-term care. Oh, I spilled that one too. with palliative care, you know, you may have a period where a person is actively, what we would consider actively dying. And, you know, we do everything we can to keep that person comfortable during that time when they can go when they want to go. That they, you know, that they can choose their moment to go. So like when somebody is passing away, as a nurse, what I would do is I have palliative care orders. So the medications in our case are given subcutaneously, like through a needle in the skin. And we give morphine. Morphine helps with any pain they're having. It also helps with their respiratory rate. And it settles them. It just gives them some peacefulness. Atropine is also given. It can be given in a few ways, but we usually give it under the skin, and it's to help with any difficulty with breathing, to help dry out secretions so that they're more comfortable while they're breathing. And then we also give a drug called midazolam, and midazolam is used for, it's a sedative, and it's used to calm nerves. So some people, when they're passing away, the anxiety, 820 Q, you know, and it can be hard for the family to watch that. So giving that midazolam gives the family peace, and it also gives the residents some peace. So, you know, we watch very carefully. We do our best to keep that person as comfortable as possible. We give them good care, repositioning, oral care, talking to them, rubbing their back. And, you know, for most deaths, in that case, you know, where somebody has led a good life and it's their time to go, death is peaceful. And it's, you know, I always say when I get to be in the room when somebody's close to passing that I feel that it's an honor. And again, these are my feelings, right? I'm not an expert here. I'm just sharing my feelings with you guys, but I feel like it's an honor. And, you know, I always think about that moment when a mom goes into labor. And everybody makes those phone calls, you know, mom's, or, you know, so-and-so is in labor, the baby's coming. And everybody sits and they wait, and they're anxious for news. And, you know, they might go up, they might bring gifts, they might help with cleaning and meals. And then when the baby's born, it's a transition, it's a passage, it's part of this new life that's formed, and you know, new family. And anyway, I feel that death has very similar, like with a palliative death, you have a very similar course of progression. You know, it's decided that that person is in the process of passing, and we start this. We set up the room. We prepare for family. We prepare for the event just the same way that you would prepare for labor in the hospital. Medications are prepared. Meals are prepared. You know, the layout of the room might be changed. So, you know, we do that to make the family and the resident as comfortable as we can. So that, you know, that laboring process, the palliative process is similar. And then when the event gets close, you know, the phone calls get made, and the family, you know, gathers, and it's so, in my mind, similar to that same time, right? 3805 is 4. Yeah, so, you know, like I always say, it's an honor. Just as it would be an honor to be in the room when a child is born, when an adult makes their passing, like I'm talking, you know, an adult who's lived a full life, comfortable, happy. I'm not talking about a traumatic death here. It's an honor. It's an honor, in my opinion, to help that person make that transition from this phase of their, whatever their journey is, to the next phase of their journey. Just as you would help a child enter this world, you're helping somebody leave this world. And it, you know, yes, the physical part of death is not nice. You know, you're dealing with a cold person, and, you know, the changes that happen. But here, I think I made a mistake. 3804, 3805. Oh, I just mixed these bags up. Anyway, yeah, so that's kind of how I feel about it. And, you know, like, it's, and I know cultures view death in different ways, right? Like, so yeah, I don't know. I think it's something that you have to be respectful and honor that process. But also understanding that as a nurse, I think I have to understand that, you know, like for me, I've experienced many deaths, and each one has been different. Every family is different, and you have to respect where that family is coming from in the process of losing their loved one. Yeah, so yeah, I love it. The other thing I really like about being a long-term care nurse is how dealing with Alzheimer's. It's challenging, and a lot of people see it as a sad thing, but I just love seeing them in that phase of their lives and being able to help them as much as I can. And you just, when they tell you the stories, and the stories aren't true, and like the one lady, I was feeding her supper, and she asked me if my mom made her the apple strudel as we were eating a pudding. And I just went along with it. I'm like, oh yeah, my mom made this apple strudel just for you. And, if that's what she believes in that moment, that's her reality. Like, don't squash her reality, right? And just love them. Just love the crap out of them. And, if they're cuddling a Cabbage Patch doll and saying it's their son Vern, go with it. Tell them how cute their baby is. And it's just a phase of their lives. And yes, they're not the same person they were. And it's a loss, but just go with it and just love them. And that's all we can really do for them. And, keep them as happy as we can. And I wish Alzheimer's is, dementia is such a terrible thing. And I wish that there was more we could do to help these people. But really, it's just providing comfort care during that time and loving the crap out of them, So it was interesting for me how I got into geriatrics. I was a foster parent, and I had children with medical needs in my home. And before I had been a foster parent, I was a teacher. And I kind of stumbled into fostering, actually. A friend of mine was a foster parent, and she had asked me if I would do some respite for her, and I said, yeah. And so anyway, the ministry had asked me if I would continue doing respite for some other families, and I was like, yeah, sure, like I'm enjoying this, right? 3608. Where is this one? 3608. Ooh, this symbol. And so anyway, yeah, so I decided to take a break from teaching and foster. And through the course of my fostering journey, I ended up being able to adopt my son. And for many reasons, I decided to get out of fostering when my son was about 6. And I had to make a decision at that point whether or not I wanted to go back to teaching or whether or not I wanted to pursue another career. And, at the time, I had been taking care of these foster kids with medical needs, and I loved it. I loved every moment of it. And I thought, what I want to do is I want to be a pediatric nurse. I said, I've got this experience working with these kids. I really want to do that. I want to become a pediatric nurse. So I decided to pursue my LPN, and that, was a journey, but I did it. And let's see, this one here is 718. Let's see, where is that? A. Anyway, so yeah, I got into that, and while I was in school, I actually got a job at a private care home just around the corner here from me, and they had 10 residents and, all lower level care, and I loved it. I loved the time there, and I actually still work for that home on a consultant basis. I go in and I do supervisory work for them now, but, it wasn't getting the best hours and pay wasn't great. And I was like, well, let's see what else there is. So I actually got a job working for the current company I work for, doing therapeutic recreation. And I thought, this is perfect for me because I get a chance to work in a care home, and I get to use my education degree, right? So anyway, that was really cool. I loved it. I loved doing that. I loved working with the residents, watching movies with them, sitting with them, visiting, making cookies with them, all the fun stuff, right? And I thought, I am going to do this. I am going to pursue, I think I want to stick in geriatrics. It's interesting because geriatrics is kind of a field that most people are like, I don't want to be in a care home. I want to do whatever. And I love it. I think these people need us. They're, you know, like as a nurse, I get to use so many amazing skills. Like, you know, I'm using all my skills. Like the only thing I really don't do is I don't start IVs. But so like if you're a nursing student and you're really kind of saying I don't want to do geriatrics, really think about it, because you know, the psychosocial skills, pharmacological skills, assessment skills, you're doing all that and you're really making a difference, and you're getting to know these people and know their families and really make a difference for them. So if you're a nursing student, I would highly encourage you to really think about pursuing geriatrics as a career choice. Like I said, I never thought I would. And I am so glad I did, you guys. Like, it's a calling for me. So anyway, I am about halfway done kidding this up. So what I'm going to do is I'm at about 25 minutes now. So if you're still with me, thank you. And I'm going to switch this over and do a time lapse. So I will catch up with you at the end of my video. Okay, so I'm pretty much done. I was short 2 little containers here, so I'm gonna have to find some of those. But anyway, guys, here is my kitting up for Butterflies with Diamonds for Bella Art de Nicole's event. She's got some giveaways happening. It's not too late to enter, so if you're interested in entering, just check out her Facebook, Bella Art de Nicole, or you can search for her YouTube, or you know, click on the hashtag in my description and see, and you'll be able to find her video. She's got some gift certificates for her store, which is awesome. So I think my plan for this is, what I'm going to actually do with this is, the majority of the picture is these, as you can tell, is the black. So I think what I'm going to do is actually like do half and half and get each color, like do a full color on each half and then fill in the black. I've never done a picture this way. I usually do small little blocks, but I want to try doing all of one color in a larger area and see how I do with that. So yeah, I'm excited to get started on this. I'm going to do a couple whip and chats. And yeah, so anyway, guys, thanks for joining me. I'm going to finish, see if I can go find... Roomba's going to talk to us. And see if I can find a place for these and finish kitting up. And I'm hoping to start doing this tonight. So anyway, have a good night, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.